Welcome back to Sushi Live. In this episode, we're gonna learn the art of cutting using plasticity. So, if you want to cut this box, for example, using simple lines, if you are actually at the front view, for example, and then you just draw a line, and then you tap C, and then select the solid, it's gonna be cut into two, right? So that's pretty simple and straightforward. Let's hide our lines. If you want to cut this box from certain angle, however, you actually need to consider the construction planes, and we can create plane from selections like face or plane from the camera. So I like to use plane from camera. So by doing that, we can select something like a spline curve and draw like a spline, and I will try multiple spline. Okay, from this angle of the camera, we can actually now select two solid because they are already separated. Select the solid first and then tap C for cut and select the curve. Shift select and right click. Now, as you can see, we actually have a pretty complex cut now, and it's got a lot of things going on. We probably need to turn off the X-ray. So at this point, it's almost like we are doing the imprint, but the difference is that we are cutting everything into separate solid. It's pretty like obvious features of plasticity. I mean, like plasticity 101, but still it's pretty powerful. Of course, you're gonna end up with a lot of solid object now. Remember, you can still do like bevel and things like that. Yeah, all the extrude, everything still works, including the part that's, if you cut it like with a curve, like that curve angle, you can actually push and pull that area. And let's actually, oh yeah, our construction planes already reset itself, I believe. And now, of course, if we are selecting a face, remember we still, if we hit spacebar and we want to do like cut like that using straight lines, I don't know, like maybe multiple cut like that. If it's too many cut, you're gonna confuse yourself anyway. But anyhow, these lines or the curve happens to be on the same plane as our objects. So what's gonna happen is that we can push and pull, or sometimes it will just work, but not always. So the best way is just to select this object in Shift I and project it into this this face. Let me try again. Okay, this one, Shift, okay, plane from selections, and then select this, select our object, and then Shift I. That will actually cut through. Select the curve, Shift I, select this object. Okay, we have imprint. So now hide all this curve, which is right. We have imprint. Okay, sometimes offset face sometimes doesn't work, so that means you need to extrude. And when you are doing offset, you can always use D, select face. Whenever your cursor is, you can just do a D. think it's pretty good for, you know, like creating random abstract geometry and you just rearrange. It's probably more fun if you're using text. So we're gonna use text. Let's try, right, sushi. We're gonna do like cutting sushi like this. Hit OK. When you hit OK, it's selecting the face and you can extrude using E. Oh, okay, don't do extrude. Instead, do it this way. It's different actually. It's very strange. If you extrude the curve, it's gonna create sheet. If you extrude the face like this, the boundary, it's gonna create 3D objects. You already know that. Now let's use what we learned earlier today. Plane from the camera. We have our plane. Now use this crazy spline curve. If you got too many things snapping, let's just disable snapping. We just want to draw curve. And then C. Oh, actually, select all our solid. And then C. Select the cutter. Oh, it's refusing to cut. Okay. This happens, so in that case, I'll just use imprint. Okay, imprint seems to work. Shift I. But imprint works like one at a time. I guess if it's too complicated, just refuse to do it for us. Okay, that curve probably too complicated. But still, I guess now that we have all these separated parts, you can just hit D. Select face, hit D to offset. So even though we can do this procedurally, I guess plasticity is really kind of allowing you to, you know, it's motivating you to be more intention. You know, you need to have some kind of intentions, and it's not leaving all to be automated. When you make a cut, you really want to make a cut there, and even though what I'm doing is pretty random, every offset we do it with intention, you know. I think a silhouette. Yeah. We try to make it, you know, as broken as possible. Save this as sushi. Yeah, I still want to cut this. If you are doing a cut from here, from this construction plane, I guess it's easier for plasticity. Plane from camera, create spline curve. Let's do it. Do a simple one. select all the solid, C, and then select the curve cutter. This will actually work. I wish in Plasticity there's a a quick way to just simply grab. So at the moment I need to do it. I need to select and then G and then move. Oh, okay, select and G does the job. So this makes it slightly more broken. Let's make a cut this way as well. So from this angle, playing from the camera, turn off select all the solid, C, cut. Now it's all separated. The idea is to really randomize it from different angle, so it looks pretty broken. Actually, you can rotate it as well. Like in Blender, you can GG and you can do RR to rotate from the screen space. Oh yeah, you can also scale. Turn on all these selections. Now we can further create offset. Select face, D, offset, select face and D. I found that with the right tools, the tools itself can be quite fun, Now this is where the fun begins, because you can easily bevel. This is the power of plasticity. And the bevel is not just a bevel, because you can do offset. It's definitely fun for, I don't know, in the old days, graphic designer is just doing this by drawing. Nowadays, 3D tools is already part of the tools. So you can work in 3D and you have a lot of freedom. Sometimes, I mean, the tools should be simpler. The graphic designer likes to have simple tools. It's not like, it doesn't mean like the tools that can do everything, but just if the tools can do everything, it confuses the artist as well, you know. It's better, they're like really good. In this case, Plasticity is really good at beveling, for example. With cutting, if it can be more procedural like Blender and geometry nodes, if you have like a Voronoi tools, maybe that's also a thing. But I'm pretty happy, you know, with the current state of Plasticity. It's probably limited in some areas, but still pretty cool. If you ever want to go to certain areas and you want to add details, as long as it's planar, I mean, it doesn't need to be planar as well, because you can just imprint it. If it's super planar like this face, you can just Shift A, you know, create a line, Shift A, and then create another line. And that part, you can just push and pull. It's cutting it on the fly. It's doing cut or boolean. And after you finish, you can hide the curve. So you have a lot of construction curve that you maybe you can use as well. And you can always make a pipe, new body. Make a pipe, create new body, B. No. I don't know why you want to do that, but any part of the curve can be a pipe. And let's do a B. And now you still, if you're doing like 3D typography, it still say sushi, but it's a lot more interesting and random. But because you go inside it, it feels like more satisfying than just use you know, like if you're doing procedural workflow, you're doing a cut. Okay, this is also tricky, but you can, oh okay, if you're doing it like this, okay, it's tricky because you can see. But anyway, imprint it. Shift I, imprint. Shift I, imprint. Did I cut it? Yeah, I think I did. Hide the curve. Now we have this. Delete the line we don't need. It's too complicated. Delete. And we also have Control R. Control R, it's sometimes the cut, I think Control R cut is really depending on the construction planes as well. really make like a shard out of these objects. Okay, I think this pipe thing we don't need. If you're more or less happy with all of this, file export, save as obj, bring it into Blender so you have more freedom. So cutter type, keep it an n-gon or even quads. Save. I just save it as quads and okay, prompter. File, import, obj, desktop, cutter. Select all, RX -90. With Blender, you can turn on random. Now we can see all these random parts. Save, random, type cut. With Blender, actually, you can simply select everything that even they are not touching. You can just Command J. You can join them, right? Select all and then select one. Command J. Now it's becoming a single object. And you can just use remesh, which is pretty cool. It's just like behaving like a voxel. And then you can apply, convert it into a mesh, single mesh, and then you can tidy up using remesh and then quadrify this mesh. Let's make it 10,000. Number of faces. Hit OK. Oh, the mesh need to be manifold and have a face. Okay. In that case, just use sculpt mode and remesh from here. Okay. Maybe voxel size 0.02. Yeah, still say sushis, and I can do like shift Q and random flow, extrude now. Oh, we need to select face. Oh, well, yeah, we can do whatever to this, but basically this sculpt and cloth filter, inflate. Yeah, I think that should be enough for today. I mean, we can just keep doing this, but I shouldn't do the balloony stuff. Just import import the OBJ, select the cutting RX minus 90, and at this point, to make this looks nice, just apply material, metal, smart metal, select apply material, Command L, link all the materials. Now switch to cycles, create light, and we can assign a different color randomly. Scene shaders, take paint color and color ramp or hue. Something like that. So random per island, metal color. Turn on the noising. Okay, just for preview. So that's the final look. So cutting 3D tags using Plasticity, and yeah, in Blender you can do more and adding more details, panels, but it's the final looks, the silhouette looks kind of nice. And then remember, you work on every face manually, but it's actually quite fun doing this. Kind of wanna do this all day. Can still arrange it. So this time it's not too abstract. Yeah, and then you can maybe just do like a simulations and drops everything to the ground. Anyhow, that's a quick look again as Plasticity, the way you can do like a cutting and then imprinting, or you can select you can go to any face and then do like a quick drawing like that. I think this is really powerful. Okay, hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.